Oi, fellow comrades, it is Squid Tard here. We are back with another video. So for those of you that remember a couple of months ago, I'd say, and maybe about half a year ago, I played through the entirety of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. It was a strange adventure to say the least, and it was about a month long of me just trying to get through the game, and I managed to beat Ultimate Mode on the first time that I tried it. And for those of you that don't know, I only really played Super Monkey Ball 2. So playing through Super Monkey Ball Deluxe was the first time that I actually got to experiment and play around with the stages from the first game, which is what we're doing right now. We're going to be talking about the entirety of all these stages. I got a tier list set up for all of the stages here for Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2. For 2 we'll get to in a little while, but I'm going to do Super Monkey Ball 1's stages first. For those of you that are interested and are not subscribed to the channel already, make sure to give this video a grand old like and subscribe to the channel. And of course contribute to the Tardarian army, because we're on our road to 2K here. And we're getting close to there, so it would really appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that like button, sub to the channel. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for my tier list on all of the stages here from Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and get into that, starting with Super Monkey Ball 1. So starting off here, we have beginner number 1, which of course everyone knows as the hardest stage in Monkey Ball history. I'm going to put this one in the average tier, and the reason why, of course, is just because it's your plain old, literally just run into it, run and get into the goal, a couple of bananas around, but that doesn't really matter. There's nothing really all that special about it. The next one of beginner 2, and I don't really know a lot of the stages. I know this one is called Diamond and Monkey Ball Deluxe, but I'm just going to be calling it by, I'm probably just going to be calling it by, of course, like beginner 2, and then once we get into the advanced stages, advanced whatever, and yeah. So this stage, beginner 2, I'm going to put this one, you know, I'm putting this one in God tier. And the reason why, of course, is just because of how satisfying it is to just literally press the back, just go right back on the control stick and just watch as you get into that advanced goal. You got to love getting the green goal in this one. Probably the most satisfying one to get. This next one here, beginner 3, put this one in average 2, because really I always just move past this stage every time I play through it, because right here, once you play this one, you just kind of skip this one, and it's just kind of, you just go around. Basically, all you have to do is just press the button forward, and you still go in either way. Pretty simple stuff. Alright, beginner 4, I'm putting this one, I'm not really sure where it should go. I'd say around average or warm and bad. Probably between the two, because it's really unsatisfying to have to wait for the bridge to come around, unless if you're one of those speed runners and just kind of does their own thing. I'll put this one in the average tier along with the rest of the beginner stages. Alright, next up, beginner number 6. This is, of course, I don't think the bonus stages are included here, unless if I'm incorrect about that. It looks like the bonus stages are included here, so we'll get to those later on. So this is beginner 6. This is called, I'm pretty sure, Slopes. There's 2 stages called Slopes if you play Super Monkey Ball 2. But the first Slopes right here, you know, this one is actually satisfying to play through. I'm putting this one cool and good tier because of the shortcuts that you can make and all of that good stuff. Really satisfying to get. Beginner 7, this is Stairs, I believe. Really tough to figure out where I want to put this one, because it's kind of boring to play through, and you're just kind of moving up some stairs. Nothing really all that special here, so this one I'll just slip into average tier. Nothing all that special with that one. Beginner 8. This is one of the many stages that include you waiting for blocks and moving across them. Because of the trend that it started, I'm putting it in warm and bad. Ugh, I do not like these stages. Jump Single is, I think, what this stage is called. Beginner 9. Put this one in cool and good tier, because it's nice to get that jump right there, and I kind of like the whole setup it's got. And then, of course, Exam A, which is beginner 10. Again, tough really to figure out where to put this one, because I kind of like playing through this stage. Of course, it's not like Exam B or C, especially C. It's actually kind of fun to play through, especially when you get the shortcuts. So I'm going to put this one in... Yeah, we'll put it in the cool and good tier. Alright, next up here, we're going to the advanced stages. So, starting with, of course, advanced number 1. Pretty easy stuff here. Just your run-of-the-mill. Basically the same thing as this stage right here, except the only difference is there's a bump right there. So, yeah, put that in the average tier just like the other one. The next one here, I believe this is called Walking in Deluxe, if I'm correct about that. This one gave me a lot of trouble because trying to make the shortcut is just a pain in the cheeks. So I'm putting this one in warm and bad. Oh, this one. This one is actually not too bad. And, I mean, it does give you some trouble in regards to trying to make the shortcut. But as long as you do it in the specific way that, you know, speedrunners do it, you should be fine. So put this one in average tier. This one, you see, this one is kind of like the bridge stage here on average tier, except way worse. Because, you see, there's not, of course you can't tell, there's not a way to be able to jump off the little, I guess, boundaries on the side. So, yeah, I'm putting this one in the no tier. I do not like this one at all. Horrible stage. Right here. Oh, it's literal. See, this one is literally the same thing as the God tier stage here. The only difference is that the end here basically moves. And it's got the same green goal at the same exact place. And so since it's literally just kind of a copy of the last one, I'll put this one in cool and good tier. Still a good stage because, of course, that, but... Advanced number 7, I believe, is that this one is called. Tough where to really put it because, like I mentioned before with the cool and good stage right here, it's pretty difficult to really kind of have an analysis on this one. I never really played through it. I've played through it once or twice before. And the curves thing, it's... Trying to get the shortcuts is a pain in the cheeks, but other than that, it's kind of just an average stage, so... we'll put that in average too. This is the first, I think, of the downhill stages, and this one's not too bad since literally it's just kind of, you just have to dodge a couple slabs of bricks. Not too fun to play through, but it is, I will admit that it is sort of fun to play through, so yeah, we'll put that one in the cool and good tier as well. And then here's the next brick stage. And you see with this one, you can't move immediately, you actually have to wait for it to finish. So yeah, that one's going in the no tier as well. I just do not like playing through that one. Alright, we're on to, I believe this is advanced number 11. This one is kind of a pain in the butt to play through just because of the fact that you kind of have to... Really, I'm not really good at balancing, as you can tell if you watch me play through the entirety of Advanced. I was kind of struggling with this one just because I was trying to balance myself. But if you manage to do it on anything other than the one at the very right, it's actually pretty satisfying. Or excuse me, very left, because the very right, that one's the green goal, and that one's impossible to get. I just don't know how it's possible for. It's like a string. I guess it's just really a part of balancing. So that one's going in warm and bad tier because I don't like that one at all. The bowl stage. This one's not too bad, and I actually like playing through it just because of the fact that getting the shortcut is really easy, and it's a simple stage to play through, and it takes about like 2 seconds to get through it. So yeah, going in the cool and good tier as well. Okay, this one's going in the warm and bad tier for one specific reason, and that's because in the playthrough of this, and when I was playing through Ultimate, I didn't realize that there was a big gap in between there, and I ended up falling off and getting myself killed on that part, and so that really irritated the hell out of me. So yeah, that one's going warm and bad as well. I forgot the name of this stage, but this one's not too bad to play through. It's more or less just kind of you just trying to fix the controls, and really it's kind of just a little bit of a burden. So that one's going in warm and bad as well. I believe this is advanced number 16, if I'm correct. Let's see, 16 or 15, I think. 15, 16, 17. Yeah. So we're on advanced number 15 here. This one's not essentially a bad stage. It's more of just kind of like a narrowed down and just watered down stage compared to what Warp was on Super Monkey Ball 2. So I mean, I'd slip this one in average tier because it isn't like a burden to play through or anything, but you know, conveyors. It's kind of like just how the jumping stage was here. I really did not like playing through this one, so this one's going in warm and bad as well. Exam B, which I believe we're on number 17 for advanced. What to say about this one? Well, it's actually not too bad of a stage to play through. Kind of like Exam A, getting the shortcut on it is pretty easy. And there's two pretty big shortcuts there, so once you get those down, the stage becomes really easy. So I think that one belongs in the cool and good tier, just like Exam A. This one's really fun too. This is number 18, I believe. I love this one. That one's going in God tier. The shortcut on it is really easy, and it's really simple to get the red goal. There's literally no problem getting that red goal as long as you know the shortcut that you have to get. So yeah, absolutely love that one. That one's going in God tier for sure. And then this is double jump, which of course, because I get the red goal, I normally don't even have to play through. Not exactly a fun stage to play through, kind of just an average stage. Put that one in the average tier, just because, I mean, it's basically like jump single, except you do it twice, so nothing too special there. Oh boy. Now we're on to the next part of the advanced stage. It's advanced 21, I believe this is. No. This one was not fun to play through at all. Now, in fairness, it's probably quite a bit better than the one that you find in Expert, but that isn't saying much since both of them are still bad to play through. Antlion, this is 22. This one's not too bad. It's not like anything really all that fun to play through, but it is rather satisfying to get it the first time. So yeah, that one can go into the average tier as well. Golly, this one's kind of torture because you see there's a shortcut that you can get on it, and once you get it down, it can be really satisfying to get. The problem is that you have to get that perfectly. If you don't get it perfectly, you can just call it quits. And playing through it normally isn't all that fun either. So yeah, put that one in the no tier. I do not like playing through that stage. The Expert one, funny enough, is actually quite a bit easier if you get the shortcut than this one. This is the short bridge, I believe, so not exactly an awful stage to play through, but nonetheless, it's not very fun. So probably put that one in warm and bad as well. Labyrinth. You see, I kind of like playing through this one just because of the fact that getting the shortcut on this one is actually a lot easier than what a lot of people think. I only screwed this one up, I think, like once out of like the 4 or 5 times I played through it. So yeah, put that one in the cool and good tier. I think that's where it belongs. I believe this is stage number 26. So this is one of the spiral stages, and playing through it normally is not very fun, and nor trying to get the shortcut, so warm and bad on that stage. Advanced number 27. Now, this one isn't exactly... It isn't exactly a remarkable stage for me. In fact, it's actually pretty easy to play through. All you have to do is just kind of move forward and then move to the right or left a little bit. So, yeah, put this one in the average tier. Not exactly a bad stage and not exactly awful to play through, but not too much fun either. Yeah, this one's going in warm and bad. Now, like, I can stand this stage, but having to wait for the spikes to go through and just kind of move just inch by inch forward, that's pretty frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, advanced number 29, this one's going in no tier as well. Simply for the fact that it's almost impossible for me to forget the fact that I bumped off that goal and just somehow died on that stage. I'll never forget it. Absolutely frustrating. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be surprised about where this stage is going to go. Advanced 30, Polar. I know a lot of people hate this stage, but I'm going to put this one in the average tier. It's not exactly a bad stage for me. Once you get the pattern down, it actually becomes pretty simple. It's like all you have to do is just get the pattern down, and then everything is good. Now, the the advanced extra stage that comes along with this, that's the really painful one, but I'll get to that one in just a minute. We're on expert now, so starting with expert 1, same as the others, pretty much just can kind of put it in the average tier. Nothing really all that special, just kind of does its own thing, and you can just kind of move forward without issue on that. Oh, this one, now, I think this one belongs in average tier as well, because it isn't exactly a struggle trying to get the red goal on that one, but it can be sometimes if you're kind of nervous. If you're nervous, then you're probably likely going to move off of that one, but other than that, it's not really much of an issue. This one is, I believe, expert 3. Now, I never really play through this one because you can, of course, with the red goal that you get, you can just kind of skip by it. And the fact that it flips, you see, the thing that puts this in the warm and bad tier for me is the fact that the green goal is essentially impossible to get. You literally cannot get that green goal. It moves so fast. You have to get the perfect timing and the perfect pattern to be even able to have a chance at getting it. So it's kind of like RNG basically. So yeah, no, that one's going in the warm and bad tier. And this one, I think this one goes into the warm and bad tier as well, just because of how the fact that it's like a maze stage. And there is a shortcut on that one, but it's actually pretty difficult to get, and so I don't even bother with it. That's why it's always really nice to go to this stage and just get the red goal, because then you can just go to the bonus stage and skip these two. Now we're on to the final one of the brick stage. This is, I believe, expert 6. And this one isn't exactly torturing, but it's still quite a bit more difficult than the other two. I guess it's just kind of a little bit of an annoyance, so slip that one into warm and bad. We all know where this one's going. Nothing else to really say about this one. This one's just awful whichever way you look at it. It took me so long to finally find a way to beat this stage, and I do absolutely hate playing through it. I'll never forget that. That exam C is just that awful. Alright, expert number 8, I believe. This one is, I guess, a more complex version of the slope stage that we saw in beginner. I guess we can slip it in the average tier because it's not like it's a really difficult stage or anything, but it's still kind of annoying to play through. I absolutely despise this one. This one's going into the pain tier as well, and the reason why, many of you probably know if you've seen me play through it. The balancing on that one and having to keep yourself maintained for as long as you do until you reach the very end is the most difficult thing I've probably ever had to deal with. Now, that's probably an over-exaggeration, but, you know, it's still a pretty hard stage for me. And getting the shortcut on it, which there is a shortcut, you kind of have to like bounce off the tree and then just somehow find your way on the other side. It's almost impossible to get unless if you're somehow a speedrunner and have played through the stage like thousands of times, which of course I'm not going to do. On to expert 11 here, which I necessarily don't think this one's too bad either. It's kind of I guess like a lot of the stages we've seen already, which is just a more complex stage of a stage we've seen already. So we'll slip that one in the warm and bad tier, because if you end up hitting those little bumpers there, you can just call it quits. This one can go ahead and go into the average tier. It's not like it's a really bad stage to play through or anything. It's just kind of like you're sitting there and you're like, okay, we just got to get through this stage so we can move on to the next. And this one is basically literally the same thing as the one we saw in Advance. The only difference being is that it's just a little bit easier to get that, I guess the shortcut that you can find. That still doesn't exclude it from going into the no tier, because pretty much it's basically the same thing. I believe we're on number 24, if I'm correct now, or 25. And this one, oh good lord, this one. See, you have to get it exactly right, or else you just get knocked off, because if you do as much as touch a particle of the bumper, it's over for you, and you can call it quits. So, yeah, this one's going in the no tier as well. You see, this one can go right into the average tier, because it's not exactly a fun stage to play through. There's no difficulty doing it, because it's one of those stages where you can just press the control stick upward, and you're in. It's that simple. There's not really any issue behind it. Alright, Expert 26, I believe this one is. Not exactly a hard stage, but still goes into the warm and bad tier, because it's kind of difficult trying to move your way past and trying to get into the slopes and ended up getting into the goal. I absolutely do not like playing through that one. This one, though, I believe this is 28 or 27. This one's torture. This one is absolutely torture, because you have to move at an exact right time and then just get your way into one of the little cubby areas that it has, and it's kind of just a game of patience, and I don't like patience, as many of you can tell, so that one's going into the no tier. And then the long swing bridge, which this one just kind of has RNG as well, so that one's going in no tier as well. You kind of just have to stop at the perfect time, and if you don't, you just die. It took me a long time to figure that one out, and even when I do figure it out, it still kills me to this very day. So yeah, going into the no section on that one. Expert 29. Now you see, I actually really like playing through this stage, because it's just kind of like a pattern that you get to go through, and it's actually kind of fun to go through. So yeah, we'll go ahead and slip that one, and I'd say we'll put that one in the cool and good tier. I think it belongs there. It's kind of a fun stage to play through. Okay, this one. This is Expert 31. Absolutely hate this stage. This stage practically has no rules, and you have to keep yourself balanced on either side and just keep switching forward and backward. You have to have perfect timing on it, and as much as touching a particle of one of those sides and you're pretty much dead. It's kind of like a life destroyer whenever you're in Deluxe or even in the main game. So yeah, no, going right into the pain tier. And I can say the same thing about the Sega logo, Expert 32. You see, this one took me a very long time to figure out. And, you know, the thing is about this one is that it requires patience. Now, like I mentioned before, I don't have patience. It practically does not exist with me. And the thing is that it's basically required to get through this stage, unless you just want to end up dying or letting RNG take that route. So, yeah, put this one in the pain tier as well. Both of these stages are pretty much life destroyers, and I absolutely hate playing through both of them. The snake right here, this one isn't essentially all that bad. It's actually a pretty good stage to play through. Put that one in the average tier. I enjoy playing through it, actually. Expert 34, I believe this one is. I mean, it's basically you're run-of-the-mill. You just kind of follow the path and then get up all the way until the very end and get yourself into the goals. There's not too much difficulty about it, and there's a little shortcut that you can get if you're fortunate enough to get that. So I guess put this one in average tier as well. It belongs there. This one I don't essentially hate in a way. I mean, it's really not that difficult. Just like the other stages, all you do is kind of move forward, except you have to move forward at a specific time, or else you just kind of get stuck there, and it's not very fun on that regard. So average tier for that stage as well. Nothing too special about that. Number 36 for Expert. Nothing really to say about this one, except all you have to kind of do is just kind of fall off one of the platforms, and then you got yourself right into the goal. So I kind of like playing through this one. Put that one in the cool and good tier if I can find it. Number 37 here. I do not like playing through this one at all. Having to keep yourself balanced on both sides, that's complete torture in a way. So that one's going directly into the pain route. And I'm pretty sure one of my runs for Deluxe after I beat it ended on that stage. So yeah, going right into the pain tier where it belongs. Hard Spiral, which I think belongs right where the other Spiral is, in the warm and bad tier. It's kind of just like you're trying to get the shortcut, nothing all that special, and once you get it, it's pretty simple after that. So yeah, nothing. It's not really a fun stage to play through, in all honesty. And then the moving conveyors, number 39. Oh no, 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 no. You see, for this stage, and the reason why I do not like this one compared to the other conveyor stage is because, you see, there's a shortcut that you can go through if you bounce off the conveyors, because there's a little platform that you can use there, but sometimes you won't bounce off of it. You'll just kind of move off of it and slide off and then just die. It kind of has its own rules, and you kind of have to really rely on luck if you want to manage to get the goal. It kind of ruins speed runs in a way, and it of course ruins my runs, so yeah, put that in the no tier where it belongs. So now we're on to expert number 41, which this one's pretty fun to play through. Not exactly a torturous stage, to say the least, but I mean, I guess it belongs in average tier. Number 32, or no, excuse me, 42. No, this is 32, I believe. Yeah, 32. Nothing really all that special to say about this one. I do not like playing through this one, as you really have to balance yourself all the way until the end. This is one of those stages that you just kind of dread having to play through, so put that one in the no tier. This is Antlion, except it's raised the difficulty just slightly, so put that one in, I guess, warm and bad tier. It's not exactly a hard stage to play through, except all you have to do is dodge the little boundaries right there. There's not really much more difficulty than that. This one really does have its own rules. You kind of have to... Listen, putting rolling objects on rolling objects is never a good idea, especially when it's a game where you're playing as a rolling object. So put that one in the no tier. Absolutely not a fun stage to play through in the least. This one's really necessarily, this one's kind of a watered down stage of the soft cream stage from Super Monkey Ball 2. So essentially it's not a bad one to play through, and actually if you get it down correctly, it's really easy. So instead of putting that one in the average tier, we're going to go ahead and put that one in the cool and good tier. Not a bad stage, not one at all. And then here's the Speedy Jam stage. So this one's just like the other one from the advanced stage, except it's even more complicated and even more difficult. So yeah, going into the no tier. I believe we're on number 37, if I'm right. And this one, if you get the timing correctly, can be actually really fun, and getting the shortcut on it is really satisfying. So we'll put that one in the average tier. Number 38. This one's not too special. It's pretty easy to complete as long as you get the pattern down. Nothing else to really say about it. So we can put Expert 38 in the average tier. Expert 39. Now, the complicated part about this one is like the others. You just have to get the pattern down, and as long as you do that, this one's actually a really fun stage to play through. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put this one where... I'm going to put this one in God tier. I really like playing through that stage. As long as you get that pattern down, the satisfaction of beating it is actually really nice, and the aesthetic of it is really good too. I really like that one. This one's basically bowl, except there's a gap, like a really big gap, so nothing else to really say about it. It's not really all that special, and it's pretty easy to beat for an expert stage that late in expert, so put that one in average tier. This one, oh no, not this one. Now you see, it's a lot more difficult than what it shows, as you kind of just have to like really balance yourself amongst like just tiny pieces of checkerboards, and yeah, no thanks. This one's not one I love to play through, and honestly I just kind of love to skip it if I can, which there is a way to in Deluxe, thankfully. Now on to number 43. And this one I absolutely despise playing through because of the fact that it's got its own rules where it kind of just spins on its own and you have to get the pattern down correctly if you want a chance at beating it. So put that one in the notes here as well. Now, of course, like a lot of the stages, it has patterns. I just don't like playing through them. And of course, it involves a lot of patience, which, like I mentioned before, not a fan of that. Alright, we're on to Expert 44. Nothing exactly too complicated about this stage. All you pretty much have to do is just move forward and circle around. Nothing too complicated. No tactics, no tricks, nothing like that. Just follow the pattern and you're pretty much set. So put that one in average tier because there's nothing really all that special about it. This one's actually probably a little bit easier than what it looks like because all you have to do is wait for the perfect timing for you to just move forward alongst the lines and you should be fine. So that one I actually really like playing through. I'm going to go ahead and put that one in the cool and good tier. Nothing too bad about it. This one I really like playing through because here's the thing. Simplicity is always a favorite thing of mine, and this one is really simple because all you have to do is just move forward amongst the thing, and that's one of the green goals that you can easily get as long as you got the pattern down. So yeah, God tier for that one. This one though, this one kind of just has its own rules. It's a lot like RNG to where you just have to find the perfect space to be able to jump among it. And yeah, no, I skipped this stage. So yeah, that one's going in the pain tier. And that's the main reason why I practice so hard to make sure to get the green goal on this one, which really that doesn't require much and is honestly really good because this stage is absolutely awful to play through. Nothing at all fun about this one. This one though, I believe this is called Clover and this is number 48. Essentially, it's not exactly like a really hard stage or anything, but you do have to get the pattern down and make sure to move at the perfect timing, and it's all a matter of whether or not you can balance that control stick pretty good or not. And I think it's fair to say that it's probably a lot easier with a GameCube controller than it would be using like a keyboard or, God forbid, an Xbox controller. So I'd say put that one, depending on where you are and what your experience is. If you're a GameCube player and have played this game on the GameCube, I'd say this one could probably go in the average tier, but for me, having to play through it on the Xbox controller, yeah, slip that one in the warm and bad tier. This one, though, I believe this one is Expert 49. I really don't know what to say about this one. Like you mentioned before, all you need is really a perfect timing. And as long as you got that, you should be pretty good. Even if you end up don't getting it and bouncing off, you kind of get lucky and bounce your way back in. I don't know, it has its own rules. Slip that one into the average tier. And now we're on to the final stage here, which for a final stage on Expert, it's pretty easy to say the least. It's not like it's difficult or really anything at all. And kind of fun to play through, so we'll put that one in the cool and good tier as well. Alright, now to the bonus stages. So, there's only like 5 bonus stages in the entire game, funny enough. And for this one, I mean, none of them are really all that complicated or anything like that. And of course, they're just kind of fun to play through. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip all these. Just kind of put all of them in the average tier because there's really nothing all that special about them. Except for the last one, which of course I think will still go into the average tier. They're all just bonus stages necessarily. They don't have much difficulty to them at all. Alright, now we're on to the extra stages. So, of course, most of you probably already know if you're a Monkey Ball player, but for some reason, you have the same expert stages, or you have the same extra stages in all 3 modes. Like for this one, extra number 1, it's in literally all 3 of the extra modes, which I find pretty interesting to say the least. And this one's not too bad to play through. It can go right into the average tier because all you have to do is just move forward at a good time. Kind of like this one, except more of a dumbed down version. So yeah, I believe this is the hitter stage, which really not all that difficult. All you have to do is just kind of move forward at a perfect time, and there's no difficulty involved in it, so put that one in the average tier. For the AV logo, this one is kind of a strange one because, of course, you just need a good time. Nothing too difficult about it because it's been featured in all 3 of the modes. So we'll put that one in the average tier, just like the other 2. Now, this one, these are the ones that are featured not in beginner. This one, hard hitter, it comes in advanced mode, and this one's actually quite a bit of a pain because you kind of have to have you really have to have the perfect timing to move forward on this one, and it's actually really not all that fun to play through. So put that one in the no tier. And same goes for this one. This one definitely goes into the no tier. This one's all about patience, and even when you have patience, you still lose. It kind of goes against its own rules. Basically, you have to move forward amongst the line, kind of like a maze, and if you don't do that, you'll end up failing. And even then, if you move along the entire line without stopping, you still end up losing because you run out of time. So the only way to really beat it is by bouncing yourself amongst one of the one of the little maze lines and getting yourself onto the other side. It's very complicated for a stage that's literally just moving amongst the line, but you know, with that timer there, it makes it a lot more complicated. So it's one of those stages that I don't like playing through, and I'll put that one in the no tier. Polar Large. This one is basically like Polar, the one we saw from Advanced, except way worse. And I do mean way, way worse. Basically, of course, it's all about finding the perfect pattern and all of that, but even then, you aren't guaranteed a victory because of what happens at the end, which is just like a moving ring, which you have to balance yourself on and bounce off of it to reach the other end. It's extremely complicated and just kind of torture to play through. So yeah, put that one in the pain tier because that's where it belongs. The next one here, nothing really special to say about it. It's like a moving checkerboard, which has most of its pieces just fall down and then back up. So put that one in the average tier. Pretty easy stuff to play through. This one's actually really fun to play through because getting the shortcut on it is actually really simple, and I really like playing through it. So we'll put that one in the, we're going to put that one in God tier because that one is actually one of the only extra stages in the original Super Monkey Ball that are really, really fun to play through. As for this one, I can't say that. This one is not one of the fun ones to play through, as of course, like the others, you really have to find a pattern and balance yourself on the end and find a way to jump off and get into the goal. So not a very fun one to play through. I'm gonna put that one in the no tier because I just don't like playing through that one at all. And then this one here, basically, I know you've heard this a lot because I basically compare them to stages in Super Monkey Ball 2, but this one's a dumbed down stage of this one's a dumbed down stage, I think, which of course it came before Corkscrew, but that being said, it's still a dumbed down stage in my opinion. Either way, it's going in the no tier because that one is no fun to play through at all. And I'm sure you all have saw or seen what happened to me when I had to play through that stage in my deluxe mode. Oh my goodness, that one brought me a lot of torture. Same for this one. This one's actually going in the pain tier because you really have to move forward at a specific time, and because of those stupid orange circles that you have to move over, it really messes you up because they're circular and they can move you off the thing or bounce you off. It's the dumbest thing ever. I hate it a lot. It's going in the pain tier. No exceptions. Alright, I believe we're on to Expert Extra 9, which this one's actually kind of fun to play through. It's a lot like Planets from Super Monkey Ball 2. The only difference being is that it doesn't take apart your sanity after you beat it. So I can go ahead and put this one into the average tier. Not like it's anything all that fun to play through because it's still pretty difficult and I keep bouncing off the freaking party ball on the goal. But nonetheless, it's not like it's really all that hard to play through. And then this last one, as long as you get the pattern down and have that good and ready, then you should be fine. If you're a new Monkey Ball player going into that stage for the first time, even if you've seen the gameplay of it on YouTube several times, you're still going to have a couple of problems, and it might take you a couple of tries to beat it. So it's not like it's an awful stage to play through. I'd say it belongs into the average tier. We have a lot of stages in average tier, but a lot of them are kind of like that. And now we've saved the best for last. The top 10 right here. This is what everybody's been waiting for, the master stages. So starting with Wave Master, this one's your average. I think this is the average way to go for a master stage, because you kind of just have to move forward in a perfect pattern, and as long as you get that down, it's not actually too difficult to play through. Fan Master, this one's probably the easiest out of all the master stages. As complex as they are, this one is not too difficult, and it actually brings me some happiness. So I'd say I put that one in the cool and good tier. That's probably the highest we'll see a master stage at all, including Super Monkey Ball 2. Okay, Stamina Master. This one's absolute torture. The second part of it, where you have to move down and get into the green tape, that's essentially impossible. Moving down that green vine, it's impossible to do that the normal way, so the only way to do it is by finding a shortcut and then getting your way into the goal that way. As soon as you get that down, the complicated part of the stage becomes a lot smoother. But that's not the end of it, as at the beginning of the stage, you have to move past a very thin triangle type thing, where you have to get up on top and then move your way down, while not being too fast as to not hit the thing at the end. Whichever way you look at it, this stage brings nothing but pain. And then this one is in the no tier. It's not the pain tier, but it's still pretty awful whichever way you look at it, just because of the fact that you have to be patient. And if you're not patient, you can always try to go for the hard route, but even then, I've never been able to do that the right way. I've only been able to do it once, which I don't even think I have on recording. And then another thing is, everyone, I'm pretty sure, saw what happened to me at the very end of one playthrough specifically, where I nearly lost my sanity. Alright, this one I believe is Dance Master. Now, if you put this one anywhere above Pain tier, either you've seen so many speedruns that you know exactly what to do with the pattern, or there just might be something wrong with you. Either way, this one's going into the pain tier. This one caused me specifically nothing but this word right here. It absolutely did. Having to find the correct pattern, dying so many times, because it's so easy to die on this stage, as if you have to get the exact right pattern, or else you can just give up on it. And once you find it, it's still complicated even at that point. So I think that one absolutely belongs in pain tier. This one, Roll Master, which this one isn't actually too complicated. All you have to do is just find the right route to go, and the red boxes tell you where to go, and really that's all there is to it. Nothing really all that special about it. That one can go right into the no tier. Which, of course, I just gave an explanation about how good the stage was, but even then it goes right into no tier. Right, the next one, Edge Master. This one, for a variety of reasons, is not as bad as it seems, because there's actually a nice little shortcut that you can do, where if you balance yourself correctly, you can go right into the goal by just moving off on the left side. I've done that before, and I have a recording to prove it. So, not exactly a bad stage, to say the least, so, no tier. Yeah, expect a lot of the master stages to go in there anyway. Dodge Master, you all have seen what has happened to me specifically in Dodge Master, I imagine. So you can understand why I decide it goes into pain tier for sure. Alright, well, this one, honestly, for this one, I think it belongs in its own tier called Bridge Master. You know what? You know what? Hold on. 1 minute. There we go. That's where that one belongs. That is where that one belongs. This is absolutely the worst stage I've ever had to deal with in Monkey Ball. Is getting past that thin piece of tape is pretty much the most complicated thing I've ever had to do in Monkey Ball. And getting it down, even getting it down, the thing is, there's always a specific pattern with every single stage in Super Monkey Ball. Once you do it a numerous amount of times, it becomes a lot less complicated. That can't be said for Bridge Master. Bridge Master has its own rules, which rule number 1, you're screwed. And those are your rules. So, yeah, Bridge Master, you can go screw yourself. And as for the final stage here, Monkey Master, nothing really all that special about it. Well, it's just kind of the stage that congratulates you for getting past Bridge Master. So we can put that one in the notes here as well. And so there you have it. That is your Super Monkey Ball 1 level tier. I'm assuming we're probably going to get some controversy on this because, I mean, there's controversy on literally everything on the internet, including, of course, Monkey Ball. But you know what? I have high standards for the Monkey Ball fan base, and so if you're one of those people, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and the tier list for the Super Monkey Ball 2 levels will be coming out sooner or later. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, power to Tardaria.